What's up, YouTube? Team Movies here. Now, today I started the new horror sequel, It Chapter 2, which, of course, is the sequel to 2017's It, which I really liked the first It. I was very surprised of how good the first film was. And, you know, the reason I was skeptical, because, who could you get to replace Tim Curry? Tim Curry, is Pennywise. Like, I love Tim Curry's performance as the original Pennywise. So I was a little skeptical about going into the 2017 one, but man, I love that 2017 version. You got Bill Skarsgård was a great Pennywise, maybe a little more creepier than Tim Curry's portrayal, but obviously because it's more based on King's book one, and not to mention the film, the original was a TV movie, so you couldn't really do much with the original. But I gotta say, the sequel, I quite enjoy the sequel. I probably didn't enjoy it as much as the first It, because I probably prefer the first It more. The first It has stuff that's much better than this film, to be honest with you. Like, the chemistry with the adult version of the Losers Club, Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Hader, and all, they all had good chemistry. But their chemistry wasn't as good as the chemistries that the kids shown in the first It. Like the kid who of course from Stranger Things, Finn Wolfhard, he's like, I thought he stole lots of scenes in the original. And Jade Lieberher and all the other cast, Sophia Lillis and all, they all really had much better chemistry than the adults did. But I thought they still play off each other well. And Bill Hader, it was weird seeing Bill Hader in a horror film like this. Because, I'm used to seeing Bill Hader play like the comedic guy on SNL, Superbad and all. He's done drama before too. But seeing him in a role like this, it's a very darker role than his HBO show Barry. I can tell you that right now. But despite it still being a horror film, I will say Bill Hader, did still was pretty funny. But he's Bill Hader, obviously, and of course, his character, the younger version of his character, was such a funny scene steal. So you need to get like a comedic person to play that character. And so, of course, this time around, the film takes place like 27 years after the Losers Club ended up defeating Pennywise, and the kids are now all grown up and living like other places. But like Matt Hanlon, played by Isaiah Mustafa. Why do I always keep calling him Mufasa? Mustafa. He's the by the way, Isaiah Mustafa is the Old Spice guy. It was kind of, so I was a little surprised that they didn't have a Old Spice joke in this. That would have actually been funny to watch. But anyway, in the film, in the film, Mike is the only one who's really living in Derry, and he ends up calling the others to have them, ask them to come back and make goods on the oath that they swore in 1989 during a tragedy actually ended up bringing them together. And so, of course, you got the Adult Losers Club on this. Like, you got James McAvoy back as Bill Dannebrog, who's now like who's kind of like a famous movie director now, or writer, I should say. You got Beverly Marsh, played by Jessica Chastain, who, by the way, Beverly is also dealing with abuse, because if you guys remember when Beverly was younger, her father kept abusing her, and now she's older enough. Like, now that she's older, she's married to a guy who also is abusing her. So, I'm still surprised that Beverly didn't actually go with either Ben or Bill, because I thought she had really great chemistry with them. So it made me a little disappointed that she never actually ended up marrying or dating any of those two. And of course, you also got Richie Tozer, played by Bill Hader, who's like a stand-up comic, and you also got Eddie Kasprak, played by James Renzo, who still also has asthma and all. And so they, of course, come back together, and they end up encountering, what they ended up encountering when they were kids, and they pretty much, once again, meet up with, pretty much encounter Pennywise once again. And so they gotta try to find a way to defeat Pennywise once more. Now, the film was, of course, returning director Andy Muschietti, who is, of course, Andy Muschietti is directing The Flash as well, but God knows if that's still ever gonna happen, whatever. But what Andy Muschietti did with in Chapter 2 was really great. The movie was also, it was actually still pretty gory. I mean, it has some really gory stuff in it. I'm not gonna spoil it because it's a non-spoiler review, so you don't have to worry about me spoiling anything. But yeah, it had loads of blood, and now I can see why they when they decided to go for a hard R rated. I mean, yeah, it wasn't like as gory as, let's say, Hatchet or Wrong Turn or anything, but it still had some gory stuff in it. And the actors, I thought, all of them really gave great, outstanding performances. Like Bill Harris shows that he could do more than just that laughable idiot from SNL and all. James Ransone was really great in this. You also had some really funny cameos and Easter eggs to keep your eye out for. So I'm not gonna spoil them, but there are some really fun, cool Easter eggs and cameos featured in this. So there's that too. And also, they did do the flashbacks with the kids, which I gotta say, I really quite like the flashback scenes. Like, it was pretty cool seeing, because it was really cool seeing the kids all back together once again. And all, like, the kids really, they all really, like I said, they all had great chemistry. And, it probably would have been it would have been a mistake not to bring them back. So I'm really happy that they decided to bring the kids back, especially during the flashback scenes. And Bill Skarsgård once again as Pennywise. Holy cow, he was awesome. I mean, I've seen Bill Skarsgård pop up in other stuff, but I think his best performance is as Pennywise. He is just so creepy. I mean, they actually even show Bill Skarsgård's actual face instead of the just traditional clown makeup. That's not a spoiler. It's actually in the trailer, so just let you guys know there. And this also did have some cringy stuff that I probably could have dealt with. Could have dealt with them keeping out. Like the naked old lady one. What is it with horror films and naked old ladies? Or old guys? I mean, come on. And the film was actually very long than it should have. It was like 2 hours. I can't remember the actual length, but it was like 2 hours and all. And I didn't think it should have been that long. I mean, yeah, it was way too long, especially for a horror film. I mean, horror films like this should not be that long. And there are some stuff that they probably could have cut out and all. I mean, this wasn't like Endgame long, but at least with Endgame, that had to be long. But in Chapter 2, didn't really need to be long. I mean, this movie was probably even longer than, maybe even longer than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm not lying. But, yeah, besides the length of the film and some of the cringiness of it, I know it also had some really decent scares. Like I said, great performances by the cast. If you're a fan of the first I'll say definitely give the sequel a go. You won't be disappointed. And I'm not gonna lie, I'll be down to see a third one. I mean, I don't think they'll ever do a third one because this did end it off pretty perfectly. But they announced tomorrow or whenever that they're gonna make an It Chapter 3. I'll see it because I'll be down to see another It film. Especially with Bill Skarsgård back as Pennywise. I mean, that dude just plays that role perfectly. And yeah. But anyway, let me leave it to you guys. Oh, did you have a chance to check out It Chapter 2? If so, what you thought of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is C-Movie signing off.